My beach ex faked that I hurt her in front of her lawyer, but I played the footage in front of the whole courtroom. You know when you look back and think, damn, I should have known? That was me. Sitting in my car in some lawyer's parking lot, palms sweaty, gut in knots, trying to remember how the hell I ended up here. Let's rewind. Her name's Rachel, my wife. Well, ex-wife now, thank God. We were together 7 years. 2 kids, a house I worked my ass off to afford. I thought we were okay. Not perfect, sure, but okay. We had laughs, late-night Netflix marathons, inside jokes that still pop into my head sometimes and make me sick. She changed slowly, like boiling water. You don't feel it right away until it's already burning. At first, it was small stuff. She got distant. Her phone was always flipped face down, started staying out late for work events when I knew her office didn't throw anything but passive-aggressive emails. But I said nothing, gave her space, tried to be the understanding husband. Turns out, understanding just made me easy to walk over. Then one night, we had a stupid argument over dinner. Like, literally, about what show to watch with the kids. She snapped, full meltdown. Accused me of controlling her, said I never let her breathe. I was stunned. We'd had fights before, but this was different. Then came the divorce papers. Cold, clinical. Left on the kitchen table like a grocery list. I didn't even get angry at first. Just hurt. Deep, bone-deep hurt. But what really fucked me up, what wrecked me, was the false accusations. She told her lawyer I'd been abusive. Said I screamed at her, hit her, even hurt the kids. I read the email with my hand shaking so hard I dropped my phone. Me, the guy who carried her through a miscarriage. The guy who left work early to make her soup when she got COVID. The guy who took the kids out every weekend so she could sleep in. Suddenly I was a monster. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I'd lie in bed, listening to the quiet, and wonder if she was sitting there laughing at how well her plan was working. She said I shouldn't be allowed to see our kids unsupervised. That was the dagger. My little girl still calls me Dada, with that sleepy voice when I tuck her in. My son still asks me to read the same damn dinosaur book every night. I wasn't perfect, but I loved those kids more than air. And she was trying to erase me. The day we were supposed to meet the lawyers to discuss custody, I showed up broken but ready. I wanted to fight, but fair. I wanted to show I wasn't what she claimed, but I had no idea what she had planned. What she pulled in that room, no one could have seen coming. Man, I still can't believe how fast everything spiraled. 1 minute, I'm sipping coffee and rehearsing my talking points in my head. Calm, respectful, focused on the kids. Next thing I know, I'm being painted like the monster in a courtroom drama. It all started the morning of that meeting. She was quiet. Too quiet. Rachel wasn't saying much, just pacing around the living room. We still lived together because of kids and flat being half her and mine's. I thought maybe she was nervous about facing lawyers, talking custody, normal stuff. I mean, I was nervous too. But then I noticed she kept looking at the wall mirror, over and over, fixing her hair, touching her face, almost like prepping. I didn't think much of it. Honestly, I was just trying to stay calm. I go to grab the folder with all my notes and paperwork from the kitchen. I'm gone maybe 5 minutes. Tops. And when I come back, she's sitting on the couch, tears already pouring, hair all messed up, lip bleeding. I freeze. I'm like, Rachel, what the hell happened? She doesn't answer me, doesn't look at me, just stares at the front door like someone's coming. And then it hits me, she did this. She hurt herself. And suddenly it clicks why she kept checking that mirror, why she was so quiet. I say her name again, and that's when she stands up and screams, "Don't come near me, you're not gonna hit me again." I swear to God, I thought I was in a horror movie. My hands went cold, my brain short-circuited. Rachel, she didn't care. Because right then, like a goddamn script, the knock came at the door. Her lawyer. Mine. Both of them walking into this staged little horror scene. Rachel runs toward them sobbing, clutching her face. "Look what he did! I told you this would happen." Her lawyer gasps like he just found a murder scene. Mine looks at me like I'm the devil reincarnated, and I'm standing there, stunned, speechless, absolutely f***ed. I try to talk. I try to explain. She did this to herself. I wasn't even in the room. But you could see it in their faces. Nobody believed me, not at first. They started writing things down. making phone calls, talking about emergency custody orders, pressing charges, protecting the kids, and me, I was watching everything I cared about slip away in real time. And the worst part? She just sat there, wiping her fake tears, whispering, "You brought this on yourself." The cops, yeah, cops, knocked on my door like I was some rabid animal they had to drag out in cuffs. They didn't arrest me right there, but the message was clear. I was being investigated. Pending charges, they said. Domestic violence, assault, emotional cruelty. I couldn't believe the words coming out of their mouths. Rachel? Rachel, who beat herself up like she was auditioning for some psych thriller. She was now officially being housed in a shelter for abused women. And I was being watched. They made me hand over my keys to the house, told me I couldn't come within 500 feet of Rachel, or the kids, until the court sorted it out. Sorted it out? It already felt sorted. Everyone had picked their sides. I was the monster. She was the victim. Didn't matter that I had no record, no history of violence, no reports, no bruises ever documented before this little performance of hers. They had her word. And in this system, sometimes that's all it takes. I called my lawyer again, demanded we file a motion to contest everything, to bring in evidence, something. He just sighed. We'll try. But this kind of accusation, it sticks. Judges tend to play it safe, especially when kids are involved. Even my own family was acting weird. My sister texted me saying, "I hope this isn't true. But if it is, I love you, but I can't support you." No one asked for my side. Not one fucking person. I was alone. Banished. My name already tarnished in every group chat, every corner of town where people whisper, "Did you hear what he did?" It broke me. And the worst part? I missed the kids. I missed my son's dumb little jokes and the way my daughter says "dad," like it's the most important word she knows. Now I couldn't even send a text without risking arrest. I felt like I was suffocating. Like the walls were closing in and my life was on fire, and no one cared because they all assumed I lit the match. I sat in that cold-ass apartment, staring at the floor, for hours. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. Couldn't stop thinking about how this woman I once loved had just obliterated my life in under 48 hours. And somehow everyone was cheering her on. Then, around 3 a.m., I got up to feed the cats. Hadn't even thought about them in the chaos. And while I was pouring the kibble into the bowl, I looked down and saw it. That tiny camera built into the base. The one I installed a while back just to watch the cats when I worked late. That bowl? It was pointed straight down the hallway. Right where Rachel had disappeared to for 10 minutes before the lawyers showed up. 10 minutes when I wasn't even in the same fucking room. And my hands started shaking because, maybe, just maybe, the truth was hiding right there. In a dumb cat bowl camera I forgot I even had. Week later, I walked into that courtroom with my hands cold and my stomach in knots. The hallway smelled like bleach and anxiety, the kind of place where lives change with the swing of a gavel. Rachel sat across from me with her hair curled, wearing a soft blue sweater like she was the lead in some Lifetime movie. She had tissues in her hand, already prepped for tears. Her lawyer kept whispering to her like a coach getting a fighter ready for the ring. They thought they had this in the bag. Me? I had a cat bowl camera and the truth. The judge entered, and we all stood. Basic formalities, but my heart pounded like a war drum. I couldn't look at Rachel. I didn't want to. I was afraid if I did, the rage would show. Her lawyer opened with a string of emotional garbage about how she feared for her life, how I had a history of manipulation and intimidation, how she needed space to recover from the trauma I inflicted. I watched the judge nod, scribble a note or two, expression unreadable. I'd seen this before. When a woman speaks, people listen. When a man defends himself, people squint harder. My lawyer stood up, calm, but with fire in her tone. "Your Honor," she said, "we have a video we'd like to submit into evidence." Rachel froze. I saw it, the way her mouth twitched, the way she adjusted in her chair, suddenly not so composed. The judge glanced at her, then back to us. "Proceed." We hooked up the tablet to the monitor. It started rolling. 9:12 a.m. Rachel pacing in the hallway of our house. She was completely alone. You could see the date and time at the corner. No editing, no cuts. She screamed, clawed at her own arms, slammed her body against the doorframe. The courtroom was silent. You could hear a paperclip drop. She threw herself onto the floor like someone had pushed her, but no one had. She grabbed her own hair, pulled, then slapped her own face hard. The sound echoed on the video. Gasps filled the room. Then we showed the timestamp jump. Just 2 minutes later, her calmly walking into the living room like nothing happened, smiling as the lawyers arrived. The contrast was gut-wrenching. I glanced at the judge. His eyebrows were up. His pen was down. Rachel's lawyer tried to interject. "Your Honor, we weren't made aware of this." The judge raised a hand. Silence. Rachel didn't even look at the screen anymore. Her mouth was clamped shut, and I could see her eyes darting to the exit like she wanted to disappear. When the video ended, no one said anything for a full 10 seconds. Then finally, the judge spoke. "Miss Lane, care to explain what we just watched?" Rachel stammered. I was rehearsing. I was trying to show what happened earlier." "You claimed to be assaulted just minutes after this video," the judge said, voice firm. "You filed sworn statements, police reports. You misled this court, your own counsel, and wasted legal resources." "I was scared," she blurted. "He has scared me before." "Not according to this footage." Her lawyer looked like he wanted to crawl under the table. The judge turned to me. "Mr. Carter, do you have anything further to submit?" I shook my head. "Just the truth, sir." He nodded once, then picked up a form and signed it right there on the bench. "Restraining order dismissed. All charges dropped. Furthermore, I'm forwarding this case to the district attorney for possible charges of perjury and falsification of evidence." Rachel's mouth dropped. Mine stayed shut. But I can't lie, my chest felt lighter than it had in weeks. As court adjourned, I walked past her. For once, I didn't feel anger, I didn't feel fear, I felt free. I'd been dragged through the dirt, my name spit on, my kids almost taken, and for what? So she could control the narrative? So she could punish me for leaving her? But the truth had a funny way of coming back, even if it was hiding in a pet food bowl. Outside the courthouse, my lawyer clapped me on the back. "You're lucky you thought to check that camera," she said. "Most people wouldn't even have that." "Wasn't luck," I told her. "It was desperation, and a cat that eats like royalty." We both laughed. It was the first time I laughed in a long, long time. I didn't win $1 million, I didn't get an apology, but I got something better. I got my name back. And that was everything. When Rachel lied about me, she thought she could control the fallout. That she could cry in front of a lawyer, bruise her own arms, scream a few carefully rehearsed lines, and walk out with the moral high ground. What she didn't plan for was evidence, and what she definitely didn't plan for was the law turning on her. After I showed that footage to the judge, it was like something in the air shifted. There was this quiet pause, almost disbelief, as the courtroom watched her throw herself into a doorframe, slap her own face, smear makeup across her cheekbone, all before the lawyers ever entered the room. All caught on that tiny, wide-angle lens I'd tucked inside the cat's treat dispenser months ago. I never thought I'd need it. Turns out, that stupid little pet camera saved my entire life. The judge didn't waste time. A formal report was made. Rachel was detained for questioning, and the court ordered a psychological evaluation. Her lies were now part of a criminal investigation, and not the kind you walk away from with a slap on the wrist. Here's the fallout in bullet points, because that's how the system delivers it. Charged with filing a false police report, charged with perjury, charged with obstruction of justice, loss of full custody pending further investigation. Boom, just like that. And the cherry on top? The shelter she ran to? They filed a lawsuit. Because when they found out she lied and used up resources meant for actual victims of abuse, they didn't want her name anywhere near their organization again. Her face was on news blogs for a minute. Nothing national, but enough for her employer to restructure and let her go. A few people from her side of the family reached out to me to apologize. Even her own sister called me, voice shaking, saying she felt sick for believing Rachel at first. "I just didn't think someone could do that," she whispered. To their kids, even. I didn't say much, just told her I appreciated the honesty. Rachel's visitation was reduced to supervised only, and after 2 months of missed check-ins, she basically stopped trying. I think deep down, she knew it was over. The worst part, she still never apologized. Not once. Not to me. Not to our kids. Not to the court. But that's okay. Because while she's dealing with probation, community service, and the long shadow of a perjury conviction, I'm tucking my girls into bed at night, in a home that's finally quiet, safe, honest, and that's a win. The house feels different now. Still the same walls, same fridge magnets, same noisy pipes in the hallway bathroom. But something's shifted. Maybe it's the calm. Maybe it's just the absence of fear. It's been just over 2 years since Rachel's meltdown, since her lies nearly wrecked everything. 2 years since I stood in court holding my breath while a judge watched the footage that saved my life. She was convicted of perjury and obstruction, given a year probation, community service, and fined. Her record isn't squeaky clean anymore, and that stings in every job interview, every rental application. I don't feel bad. Actions have consequences. Finally. As for our kids, they're thriving. My oldest is in middle school now. She just made the honor roll. My youngest is obsessed with soccer and insists on sleeping with the ball like it's a teddy bear. Every week we bake something together. They joke that I suck at cupcakes, but they eat every last one anyway. They still don't talk about their mom much. At least, not out loud. Sometimes I catch my oldest staring at old pictures. She doesn't ask questions, but I know she will someday. And when she does, I'll tell her the truth. I won't sugarcoat it, but I won't fill her with bitterness either. She deserves honesty without hate. A chance to decide for herself what kind of relationship, if any, she wants with her mother when she's older. Rachel hasn't tried to reach out in months. After a few pathetic attempts, a birthday card here, a Facebook friend request there, I think she finally realized the door was closed. She's not on the visitation list anymore. That was the kid's decision, not mine. But I'll be honest, she still manages to pop up sometimes. A mutual friend mentioned she moved to another state, tried changing her name, started a blog about rebuilding and healing, conveniently leaving out the part where she fabricated abuse and nearly destroyed her children's father. That's her story to live with now. Mine is quieter, slower. But it's real. I'm not the man I was 3 years ago. I don't flinch when the doorbell rings. I don't scan rooms looking for hidden threats. I don't stay up all night preparing legal defenses in my head. I'm just a dad now. A cook, a chauffeur, a homework helper. A man who survived the worst kind of betrayal and came out stronger. And sometimes, after the girls fall asleep, I sit out on the porch with a cup of tea and the cat curled at my feet. I stare up at the sky and remind myself, I didn't just get my life back. I built a better one, from scratch, and no one will ever take it from me again. Comment below. Have you ever been falsely accused or seen someone try to fake their way through a courtroom? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more true stories about justice, survival, and truth that can't be twisted. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video.